For the first time since we learned about the PlayStation 5, we can safely say that we actually have a lot of information about the console. Sure, we still don't know the price, but we know so much about the console that we're looking forward to launch day. There are many reasons to get excited about the PS5, whether it's the exclusives, the SSD, or the incredible hardware under the hood. Whatever the case may be, we are just as excited as you. So, let's take a look at all the reasons why you should pick up a PS5 at launch day. Exclusive games. Let's be honest, the main reason why you're considering getting a PS5 in the first place is because of those games. Considering the PS4 had much better exclusive than the Xbox One, you have plenty of reasons to be excited about all the incredible PS5 exclusives we've seen so far. As you know, games are the most important selling point for a console. If you have amazing games, then you get sales. It's as simple as that, and Sony is well aware of it. On the PS5, we'll be getting 9 exclusives at or shortly after launch. These games include Astro's Playroom, Demon's Souls, Destruction All Stars, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, Returnal, and Sackboy Big Adventure. All of these games will take advantage of the tech inside the PS5 and looked great at the June reveal event. We're most excited for Horizon Forbidden West and Sackboy, and we hope that with both games they continue where they left off. Of course, with Sackboy we hope it's more like the first game rather than the last one, which was a big disappointment to a game we loved. But what games are you most excited for? Let us know in the comments. SSD. As we saw in the Ratchet & Clank Ripped Apart gameplay trailer, the solid state drive on the PS5 is unlike anything we've ever seen in a console, capable of loading entire worlds in sheer milliseconds considering how we're so used to loading screens. At this point, it's going to be a huge generational leap to get rid of them entirely. Seriously, just the thought of loading screens disappearing from open world games has us jumping for joy. Even games like Destiny will greatly benefit from this. Good news for Destiny fans. Now for the specs of the SSD, the PS5 will be using a custom 825GB solid-state drive, which is a very odd amount of storage since we expected at least a terabyte. But hey, Sony knows what they're doing because those read and write speeds are something else. In fact, the PS5 SSD blows the Series X right out of the water. It's capable of 5.5 to 9 GB per second speeds, which is blazing fast even for a solid-state drive. On the other hand, the Xbox Series X SSD is much less impressive as it's only capable of 2.4 to 6 GB per second. What this means is that games should load quite a bit faster on the PS5 compared to the Series X, hopefully eliminating loading screens for good. We're not gonna miss them, that's for sure. DualSense. The new DualSense controller is another reason why you should get the PS5 at launch. It looks like the best one yet. The DualSense will support haptic feedback, which will add a variety of powerful sensations we will feel when we play. Sony mentioned the slow grittiness of driving a car through mud as something that we will feel through haptic feedback, so Gran Turismo 7 should really showcase this feature. The controller will also have adaptive triggers in the L2 and R2 buttons, which will allow us to truly feel the tension of our actions. Sony also highlighted drawing a bow to shoot an arrow as something we will be able to feel through adaptive triggers, so Horizon Forbidden West could really showcase this when Aloy uses her bow and arrow. The share button has been replaced with the create button on the DualSense that will be used to stream, take pictures, and record video clips. The controller also comes with a built-in microphone that could be used to communicate with teammates, although for longer sessions a headset is definitely recommended. It even comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack, as well as a USB-C support instead of micro USB, which is a huge step forward. Sony didn't share anything about battery life yet, but we sure hope the DualSense lasts longer than the PS4 controller, and it hopefully comes with a longer powered cable. Visuals. Graphics have always been one of the most important aspects of gaming, but if you expect to see a huge difference between visuals on the PS4 and a PS5, then you might be disappointed. Sure, games will definitely look better on the PS5, but it won't be a huge leap like from a PS2 to a PS3. But we do expect the PS5 graphics to get better over time, just like with the PS4. For example, take a game that came out on the PS4 in 2014 and compare it to a game like The Last of Us Part 2. The difference is huge. We will definitely see more improved and more consistent frame rates. Developers will try to make 60 FPS the minimum for their games, with 120 FPS being the ultimate goal. We'll also be seeing more native 4K resolutions instead of the tricks the PS4 Pro was using. One of the most exciting new features has to be ray tracing, which will significantly improve lighting and the way it bounces off of objects and shapes. Well, it might not be a huge generational leap, but visuals will certainly be improved on the PS5. Digital Edition. Sony surprised everyone on the June reveal event when they announced that not one, but two PS5 consoles would be released during the holiday season of 2020. The standard PS5 with a Blu-ray disc drive and the Ps5 Digital Edition. Unlike Microsoft Xbox Series X that at this moment only has one option with a disc drive. Sony decided to give gamers who buy all their games digitally an option as well. Not only does the Digital Edition look more symmetrical than the standard PS5, which is a big deal for those with OCD, but it'll also be less expensive, which is huge for gamers on a budget. But also be aware that those that play single-player games with no replayability will want to have the disc option, because you can finish the game and trade it back in for store credit or cash, but you can't do that with a digital version. I hope that one day Sony will open an online shop where you can buy and trade in old games for credit. Now, since we don't know the price of the PS5 yet, now it's just all rumors right now, but based on some sources, the Digital Edition may only be £50 cheaper than a standard PS5, which is very disappointing considering the downside of digital only. We're just happy that we have options when it comes to the PS5. 3D audio. A feature that may have flown a bit under the radar is 3D audio. Despite the PS4 having amazing audio already, it was far from perfect according to Sony. They believe the engine in the PS3 worked much better, so they tried to make one more similar to that in the PS5. They could have gone with Dolby Atmos, but decided to make their own 3D audio engine called Tempest 3D Audio Tech, so they could focus on creating excellent audio for all the different setups players use, including TV speakers, headphones, a soundbar, surround sound, and more 3D audio is mainly going to help players with locality. There will be 5 different tuning options available with the console at launch. We reckon the best one for your own unique hearing situation will make it easier to track exactly where sound is coming from instead of just knowing its general direction. In fact, the sound is supposedly going to be so realistic that you may think it's actually coming from the real world, which is kind of trippy but weird to get fully immersed in next-gen gaming. Expandable storage. We touched a little bit on the PS5 storage already, but let's take a more in-depth look at all the storage options we have with the console. Of course, you have the 825GB solid-state drive that comes with the console. That's a given, but you also have a good amount of expandable storage options. Yes, even though the console comes with a solid-state drive, you can plug an external hard drive into the console. Of course, it could only be used for PlayStation 4 games, but it's an option for you if you don't want to re-download all your PlayStation 4 games onto your PlayStation 5 SSD. The console will also come with a built-in expansion bay for an additional solid-state drive. Now you can't just grab any solid-state drive on the market and install it on your PlayStation 5. It's not gonna work like that. The PS5 will only be compatible with certain M.2 SSDs, and Sony will eventually release a list of which ones are compatible with the console. Storage is one of the areas where the Series X has Sony beat with its 1TB solid-state drive, but this expansion bay makes that difference a much smaller deal. Improved CPU and GPU. Of course, all of these improvements wouldn't be possible without the incredibly powerful CPU and GPU in the PS5. The hardware inside the PS4 was far from impressive and became outdated fairly early in the console's lifecycle. On the other hand, the hardware inside the PS5 is a huge step up and is more similar to a gaming PC than the PS4 ever was. As for the specs of the CPU and GPU, the PS5 will feature a custom 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU clocked at a variable frequency and a custom GPU based on the AMD sRDNA architecture capable of producing 10.28 teraflops clocked at a variable frequency. Virtual reality. Okay, it might be a bit odd to bring up virtual reality since Sony hasn't said a peep about in what feels like forever, but it's still worth mentioning. Well, the PCVR 2 headset may not be launching alongside the PlayStation 5. So if you're into VR, it's never really too early to get prepared. And you could do that by getting the PlayStation 5 at launch. And eventually, when the PSVR 2 does come out, you'll already have a PlayStation 5, so you'll be ready to go. Plus, it's going to be compatible with the first generation PSVR anyway, so you could still use that headset if needed. Backwards compatibility. Initially, it seems like another area where the Xbox Series X has the PlayStation 5 beat. But is it as important as everyone is making it out to be? We think the reason why Xbox has made it vital to sell this as a big thing is because Xbox has many great titles in the past with nothing in the pipeline for the future. And also, backwards compatibility is only really important for year one. And most people are only going to want to play PlayStation 4 games on a PlayStation 5 anyway. So it's not that big of a deal if they can't play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 3 games on the console as well. Microsoft is only trying to make a big deal because that's the only part Microsoft is better than the PlayStation. But with the latest news circulating that we might actually get PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 5, Sony could end up one-upping Microsoft anyway. Conclusion. Having all these information, we think you should go ahead and buy the PlayStation 5. What do you think? Are you getting the PlayStation 5 at launch? Let us know in the comments section down below and make sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more gaming videos. As always, thanks a lot for watching.